and welcome to this week's episode of Healing Conversations with Coach V. That's me, Coach V, certified life coach and personal growth expert with SVM Initiatives, LLC. So first and foremost, let me explain what you may see around my neck. So I am a member of the Cincinnati Rotary Club, and we hosted a holiday party for the children of Roseline Condon. So I had to be all festive. So that's what this is about. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we already know that this show today is highlighting everyday people who have experienced challenges in life, struggles, maybe have made not the best decisions, but then more importantly, they spent their time on their personal journey of healing. So they're here today to share with us the things that they did to help them grow and live a better life. So, with that being said, I would like to introduce my good friend, Natasha Vandergriff. She's going to share her story with us today. Hello, Natasha.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today, especially at such short notice. I so appreciate you. Mm-hmm. So, as you already heard me explain about what the show is about, and we are so excited to hear about the journey you've taken and what you've done to heal and be all the fabulous woman that we see before us today.
Thank you.
But I always say that in order for you to appreciate who I am today, you gotta know where I came from. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, can you first take a few minutes just to introduce yourself to the audience, where you're from, what you do, who you are, and then you can share with us what type of challenges you experienced in life.
Yes, sure. Well, I'm Natasha. I'm from Cincinnati. I am currently a nurse, and I just love living here. I've been through a lot of challenges. I'm very humble to be where and who I am today.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you.
One of the statements come to mind is that people always say, I'm thankful that I don't look like what I've been through. Mm-hmm. And I want to just throw that out there to our audience on TV and on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Check us out at Healing Conversations with Coach V. Because Natasha, when you hear her story today, she's very a person that's deeper than what you see on the exterior. I mean, you can look at her today and see that she is a gorgeous woman, but when she tells you the story that she's been through and the challenges and the decisions she made, you're going to respect her even more. I promise you that. That's why I'm so happy to have her here today. So with all that being said, no pressure though now, no pressure, right?
No.
With all that being said, tell us just a little bit about your life before you began your healing journey.
Well, my life started off a little early into adulthood. Let's just start at 11.
Okay.
My mom was incarcerated for manslaughter. Okay. And I was pretty much in the street at that point, trying to figure things out. My grandmother was taking care of me, and she couldn't do it anymore. And I ended up going to the system, the foster system, went through many homes, just in search for someone to, really care for me. In the meantime, in between time, I met a gentleman. Let's fast forward to 16. Met a gentleman, had a beautiful baby girl. Stayed focused in school, of course, but that relationship turned very volatile very quickly. And we went through a lot of things, and in the midst of that, I lost my daughter to foster care, and that took a big piece of me because I was still lost in the world, just trying to pick up the pieces to my childhood, and then I lost the only thing that mattered to me, which was my child, just due to a lot of domestic violence, And so, of course, I went from foster home to foster home, and let's just go a year down the road. I decided, hey, you got to get focused and get rid of the man, that causes some difficulty here. I had to start loving myself a little more.
Absolutely.
So, I stayed focused, stayed in school. I did everything the courts asked me to do. That's one of those journeys.
Yes, I know.
They take you through a lot, But in the end, in 2008, I got my child back, full custody.
Good.
And the gentleman that I was dealing with was incarcerated for 3 years, which gave me time to find out who I was and to begin that healing with my child. So graduated, from high school, went on to college, University of Cincinnati Med program.
Okay.
And met another knucklehead.
Okay. We're going to call him a knucklehead. Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And that situation went from one child to 4 children so fast, and just still a lot of uncertainty in my life, and still trying to search and find myself, in which I took a long time. So I had to take a step back and say, okay, you've been through this, you've been through that, you have the children, that you can only move forward.
Okay. Yes.
So I took some more time, and this time, I was in my 20s. So it was kind of like, okay, you see things a little bit clearer as you move.
True. You
forward.
should.
You should, usually.
Yeah.
And so I met a wonderful lady by the name of Miss Griffin.
Okay.
And I met her as a child, actually, and she took me into her home. I think I was like 11 at that point, but I was still kind of searching, and I went astray. When you think you're grown, you kind of get out in the world a little bit.
True.
So,
can't tell me nothing. True.
by the time I was in my 20s, my mother actually was she was the one who really kind of encouraged me to, hey, look, you have these children. I had dropped out of college at that point. And I'm like, I have to do something. So my mom sat me down and she said, hey, listen, I want you to get your life in order. And I'm like, oh, she's my biggest inspiration. Well, I still couldn't get things right. I ended up being incarcerated for some time. And not a long time, but enough time to make me realize, like, some of the things you're doing are not working for you.
Right.
And so after that, I think with my mom and being incarcerated, because that's not the person I am. I've never been in trouble a day in my life. Just financial issues came about, and so I took some time after that. Incarceration, of course, that make you straighten up real quick if you've never been through some things.
Okay.
So, and I jumped my behind back in school. Graduated from nursing school, and God was so good to me because the charge was dismissed and expunged. Okay. So no record. So no record at all. No record at all. And my mother called me to her house one day and said, hey, look, you're done with school. I had graduated from nursing school at that point.
Okay.
She said, what do we need to do to get you through this exam? You have to take a licensure exam. And I said, Mom, I'm just struggling so much financially that I don't know whether I'm coming or going. That's the reason why I was incarcerated. Right. Trying to rob Peter to pay Paul and be slick. Right. And so my mom gave me close to $10,000. Wow. She said, you take everything you need to do. You quit your job today, and you take yourself and sit down. And you get that test done. Okay. And of course I'm extremely at that point. It was just like, wow, somebody gave me a chance, and believe me, it's a lot of money to give someone who has nothing. Yeah. And I did just that. She paid off every bill that I could have possibly owned. I bought everything I needed to buy. Every bill was paid up. And I sat down, I got focused, and I passed my NCLEX this year. Okay. So let's unpack this a little bit, because I need everyone to really understand and appreciate that, hey, regardless of what hand you was dealt, or regardless of what hand you made yourself, that there are still people that believe in you. What I just heard you say was, your mom was there. She saw every decision you made, every situation you endured, but your mama still set you down and said, hold on, baby girl. I know this ain't you. I believe in you. Tell me what you need from me, and I'm going to support you and get this done. Exactly. Can you share with us, like, how important that was for you, or how that made you feel to know, Mama has seen
all this stuff I done did, and she still got my back.
It was very important because, you know, even the things that my biological mother couldn't see in me, here this woman is who could have easily gave up on me. I mean, who am I? She has children that are diplomats and, you know, in the Air Force, and I mean, made great decisions all throughout life. And here I am, all of the children and the poor decisions I made and men to, you know, and in life. And I think my incarceration really messed with her because it was like, you know, she loves me and I know she do. You know, and it meant everything for someone to give me a second chance after, you know, losing my child, my mother being incarcerated, and a lot of molestation and things, you know. So I think my choice of men just came, you know, and bad men came, you know.
What's your mama name that helped you?
Her name is Midge Griffin.
I want to give a shout out to Mama Griffin because we know you watching. We want to give a shout out to you and for believing in your baby. Because a lot of times as parents, I mean, we both are parents, and we both have experienced, regardless of the age of our children, if they do something to disappoint us, simply because we know they know better.
Exactly.
We've taught them better, we've shown them better, but sometimes our kids just got a mind of their own, and they do what they want, so we know how that feels to whatever degree to be disappointed in our child, because they know better. Exactly. So that's why I think Mama Griffin should get a shout out because she still made a choice. As you mentioned, she didn't have to. Exactly. So she made a choice to still pull you up and say, come on, Natasha.
Exactly.
Come on,
and it was just, and I was getting into one nursing program after the next. I mean, it just was like, oh, wow, you know, you could stop any day now, you know. And then I had gotten to one college. And I was pregnant through all of my college experience. And I got halfway through the program, and the nursing instructor, the DON, she kicked me out the program, and I was an honor student. Wow, okay. And I lost my faith at that point. I said, you know, this is not for me. I mean, wow, you know, I'm like, I had like a couple of months left to graduate. Okay. And I got kicked out of the college. But that same very day, I went back, and I told myself the same day, I left that school and went straight to another school, enrolled myself, and I completed the program.
I know that's right.
And when I went into the program, I was 9 months pregnant.
Wow, okay.
I had my child on a Friday.
Okay.
And I was back in school that Monday.
Okay.
And I finished.
No games.
No games. And I finished with a 3.5. I worked, and I took care of took other people's children in. Okay. Through my journey, you know, which slowed me down just a little bit, but I didn't give up. And then last year, I didn't know my sister. We didn't, none of us really grew up together. So last year, I met back up with my sister. Okay. You know, social media, you can find everyone.
Find everybody, yes.
And when she called me, I was still going through things in my life. You know, that was me trying to get the case and everything closed so that I could start my journey. Right. And, you know, working like a Hebrew, just trying to get it together, you know? And my sister called me up. She said, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, wow, I haven't talked to her in a month of Sundays.
What you want?
Right. What is it? What is it, lady? You know, I'm already bitter.
Right.
And she said to me, I'm actually losing my children to the system, and I need some help. Well, you know, I'm thinking, okay, maybe, you know, so what can I do for you? Not thinking like, I said, so when and where? She said, well, in the next 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to lose my children, and I need you to help me. And I'm like, well, I already have 4. I'm already struggling, trying to come back from a case, you know, to help my children. Right. I was just like, wow, I don't know if I could. But you know, the good in me, I've had someone tell me no. Right. Before. And the good person in me is just like, I can't say no to children.
You know what no feels like.
I know what no feels like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you know, these are my nieces, and at the time it was 2. And I know we had someone else baking in there. Surprise. Surprise. And so I went, and I of course, 15 minutes I'm there. I got to court. I got custody of her children. Wow. And few months later, she was having a baby boy.
Wow.
So I took him, so that left me with 7 children.
Okay.
And I thought it was short term, but the blessing in it is a long term thing for us. And God is very good to me. I want to say that I am so blessed and so humble. I am very happy in my life. I'll be purchasing my home next year.
Okay then.
Yes.
Okay then. Yes.
I am back in RN school as we speak.
Yeah.
To finish my nursing. And children are doing excellent.
Yes.
All of them.
And I saw them. I got to meet them all today.
Yes.
So even the little baby, the little 8-month-old.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And so the children are doing excellent. I have honor students. You know, and I have a great job. Financially, I couldn't even be more blessed at this point.
Yes,
So,
yes.
You know, and I'm able to do things for myself and for my children that at one time was like, you know, you could just give this all up. Just forget it. You don't, I mean, you know, it was just, you get to that point, like, you know, I've been through enough.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I don't, why would I keep continuing to fight this battle? But I did.
Yeah.
And I pray, and my faith in God has just like went through the roof. Because a lot of situations that I experienced, I was in a church as a child.
Okay.
And at some point I went astray.
It happens.
As an adult, you know, it's just taken me this last year to really regain my faith, and I talk to God before I make any decision.
Okay.
And I can guarantee He has not led me astray.
Yes, we're going to have church. And I didn't bring my hanky. Today. I want to talk about exactly what you just mentioned. Help us understand that, because as you mentioned, you could have given up. You've had plenty of opportunities if you were that type of woman to just say, I'm done. I keep trying, I keep dropping the ball, but you decided not to. So help us understand, what was it in your thinking? What was it in your behavior? What was it about Natasha that said, I can't give up?
Well, you know, when you have a support, someone to support you, you have to want, anybody can want something, you know, as much as my mother wanted it for me for years.
Yes.
I didn't, maybe I wanted it for myself, but just didn't have that willpower.
Yes.
Yes. You have the ambition. And looking at my children, looking at where I wanted to be in life. And then, you know, I'm like, I'm capable of much more than what I have allowed myself to endure.
Yep.
And so you reach out and you take what's yours.
Yes. Was there a point, because and I have to let the people know, I've known Natasha for a while. So I've watched from where I met Natasha, where I met her, to who she is sitting in front of me today. And to be able to, whether it's up close or from a distance, witness that is so encouraging to me. I mean, we all have stories, you know, but I still to this day make sure that I stay so level, that I learn from everybody, and that everybody's story, situation, scenario encourages me also. So keeping that in mind, encourage the people watching us about, I know you said about a support system. That was something that made you like, okay, part of the thing, you know, that said, let me get it together. Let me believe in myself. But can you walk us through what it looks like for you to get from, hey, I'm thinking about giving up, I can give up, to you actually getting to the point of, let me get my life. I know that you said physically it was when you were incarcerated, when you spent time at that point. But like mentally, emotionally, what occurred, or what thought process did you go through, or what behaviors did you exhibit to really finally get you to the point? Because you being incarcerated was just something that physically happened to you.
Yeah. Well, it mentally and emotionally broke me too, because that's not the type of person that I am.
Yeah.
And you know, no matter what the reason for why or whatever, you can't make excuses for yourself.
True.
You know, you have to me, you know, for me it was like, you know, you just can't make excuses. If you want something bad enough, you have to move obstacles and things out of the way.
Absolutely.
And so for me, you know, I kept thinking like, well, what is holding me back from completing a nursing program?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
I was holding
That's
myself
it.
back
Yeah.
from completing it
Yeah.
because I would take on situations that I had no business even
Mm-hmm.
entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, once I sat down and I had to have come to Jesus meeting with myself.
Yes. Yes.
And that come to Jesus meeting was like, hey, look, you either gonna do what you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
or what am I gonna expect to change?
Yeah. I tell a lot of my clients that self-sabotage is real.
Yes.
It can be conscious or it can be subconscious.
Self-destruct.
One of the challenges I had in my growth was always running late. And I realized that, but it took me years to understand this, but I realized that whether I planned ahead or not, me always running late equated to me not thinking I was worthy of whatever I was pursuing. Or, you know, me doubting myself. Am I going to present well? Am I going to play full out? Am I going to walk boldly? So in order for me to cause myself to run late, because I can look back over many, many, many situations where there was no reason whatsoever I should have been late going to A, B, C, D, and E. But I was, because that's something that I used subconsciously at the time to sabotage myself. Oh, well, I'm too late, so I can't do this. Or, oh, I'm too behind, I didn't have time to go grab this. That's what that was. So I want to kind of unpack that and talk about how, in essence, you spent time self-sabotaging Natasha. And what did you do to come out of that?
Well, I spent time in the same aspect, just late.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
Okay, so you related to
yes,
okay.
I got you right there.
Yeah.
And I spent time telling myself, like, so one of my biggest things for nursing school was that, you know, in a Cincinnati public school district, I feel like sometimes they allow our children to move forward without them really having the ability to move forward.
I agree.
So here I am, my foundation was weak. And one of the things I said to myself, I can't go back to school because I don't know algebra like I need to know, you know. So I kept saying, well, I don't want to write papers because I mean I gotta learn all, you know. So it was just like
anything you can think of.
Anything, and I really truly felt like, oh, you can't, girl, please, you can go work at Amazon. I mean, they pay you close enough,
right?
You know? So
right.
When I sat down and said, listen, you know, you can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. When you have to get with yourself, and you mad at yourself, I mean, that's a horrible feeling. When somebody else can be mad at you and you can tell them, hey, you can go on somewhere and keep moving. But when you mad at yourself, and you got to deal with yourself, oh yeah.
Can't never run for yourself.
Can't run from
Not
yourself. And I had gotten to that point where it was like, listen, you know better. Sit yourself down. And that's what I did. I sat down and I taught myself algebra, YouTube after YouTube after YouTube.
Yes.
I sat down and I learned MLA formats, ABA formats, and I went to school and I went from the person who couldn't score more than a 15 on an ACT to a person with a 3.5 GPA.
Okay, damn.
And I tutored a lot of young ladies in math.
Okay.
And to this day, like, I'm working on teaching myself calculus.
Okay.
At one point, I did calculus, but you know.
So that was back in the day. Back in the day.
So I'm working on it now, and and I'm teaching myself calculus because I actually enjoy math. I enjoy writing, and you know, that was an outlet for me as well. So the things that were negatives, I turned them into positive.
Them around.
Yeah.
Because you chose to do that.
Because I chose to, and now here I am. I'll be finished with RN school next year.
Yes. So tell us in like 2 sentences how this has helped you heal.
This has helped me heal in an aspect of my life. Emotionally, I'm satisfied with myself.
Yes.
I constantly encourage myself to do better, speak positivity over myself.
Yeah. I tell a lot of clients that you actually, believe it or not, teach other people how to treat you by how you treat yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So to hear you say that you speak positively to yourself, you encourage yourself, now you believe in yourself. And I know because I see the glow.
Yes.
So I can testify and co-sign on that. But when you walk with that type of demeanor, that type of empowerment, people be foolish to come to you any other way.
Exactly.
Have you been experiencing that?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay, good.
I get a lot of respect, and I mean, not that I didn't before, because nobody knew who was up under the pretty smile and things I've been through. But you know, at this point, things that I wouldn't have been able to do then, people was like, oh yeah, come, Natasha, yes, it's Natasha.
Yeah, it's Natasha, no questions.
Yeah, let's just do it. Yes.
And there's such a sense of calm, and like you said, you're pleased with yourself, you're comfortable with yourself, and I feel that I'm good at reading energy.
Yeah.
And I feel that, and that's just empowering in itself. That's healing in itself, knowing that, hey, I've been through this. You can't hold it against me. I'm cool with it. I had my come to Jesus moment. Yeah. Let's talk about who I am today.
Exactly.
Like I'm loving it. I got goosebumps. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. If you could share with the audience one thing, one personal mantra that got you through, one affirmation, one positive statement, do us a favor and look in that camera and tell the people what they need to hear.
Okay, yes. Well, I would say believe in yourself. Love yourself. And trust in God and ask for whatever it is that you need, and He will deliver.
I hear Natasha, Vandergriff. And I just want to add to that, because this is something that you did. Do the work. You did the work.
Exactly.
You asked, you prayed, you listened, but then you also took it a step further and you did the work.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people forget about that important aspect of you did the work. And whenever you stopped, you got back up and reworked. So I want to encourage you to continue to do that, because you just in all your fabulousness.
Thank you.
And I tell people all the time that it's obvious if you're physically attractive, but make sure that inside matches. And you've done that. You did that.
Thank you.
My kids teach me. You did that.
I know, that's right.
So I just want to give you a small token of my appreciation for you coming onto the show. It's a wristband, because wristbands are all the rage now.
Oh,
and it says Healing Conversations with Coach V.
This is awesome, Von.
And again, well, thank you. And again, this is just me telling you thank you for coming and sharing your story, being transparent. And then you can let people know where you've been.
Yes.
So thank you so much, ma'am. I wear that with pride.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank y'all so much for tuning in for this episode of Healing Conversations with Coach V. I am Coach V, certified life coach and personal growth expert with SVM Initiatives, LLC. Please don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube at Healing Conversations with Coach V. And join me next time, where I have a very spiritual, enlightened being on the show next week. Thank you so much. See you next time.